What's going on, guys? Just got a new Ruger SR1911 Commander, and just wanted to do a quick review on it and tell you guys pretty much all about how much I like this gun and kind of show you what's going on with it. It's obviously not the same as most Commanders from Ruger, as you see. I have put new grips on it. They were the Cocobolo grips that you may or may not have seen in my other video on my Taurus 1911 that it's kind of all decked out with the Wilson combat parts and whatnot. Just to say the least, it doesn't really work like a Taurus. It feels like one of the nicest 1911s you've ever put in your hand, and that's honest to God, no lie. People with pretty expensive 1911s have told me that, and they were very shocked how refined that Taurus actually is. I just actually Duracoated it all black too, and I'll show you it just real quick. I threw the Ruger grips on that, and that's what that currently looks like. But anyways, I don't want to get too far off track. I'm not gonna pretend this is like the greatest gun ever, because yeah, it's made, you know, it's got a cast frame, whatever, but other than that, it's got all you know, machine forged parts inside of it and forged slide on it, and the fitting's all great. I mean, it's a nice gun. I'm not gonna knock it just because it's a Taurus. I generally am not a big fan of Taurus, but got a good deal on this at the time. I wanted to make a project gun out of it, and it is what it is. I'm really happy with how it turned out. This here also, I'll just kind of talk about maybe just a couple of the quick cons with it, because there aren't too many, and we'll just kind of get that out of the way. Obviously, maybe it's not obvious, but Ruger uses castings for their frames. I'm not positive like the quality of steel that they put into them. These guns get such good reviews as far as reliability, just overall durability, and they work good, you know. You really don't find a whole lot of bad information out there, or I mean negative reviews, things like that on these guns, and I can't really say anything bad about it either. One thing that I did was I didn't really like the two-tone look a whole lot. I mean, just for some reason it just didn't really suit me on this particular gun. So I took these parts here to school. I'm going to gunsmithing school right now, and I've only been there for about 3 months, but it's going pretty good so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Learned a whole lot of cool stuff. As you kind of notice, I've got a whole table full of tools here, and I've even got a drill press on my kitchen counter right here. It's kind of weird, but yep, gotta have tools, right? And I live in an apartment, so don't have a garage. But anyhow, yeah, I wasn't really a huge fan of the black on here, so I took that and I media blasted it with the machine had, this was 120 grit silicone carbide. I'm not super familiar with all like the different types of media for that. That's just what they had in their particular blasting machines. Worked pretty good, I thought. As you can see here, I did the mainspring housing, the beaver tail, grip safety, the thumb safety, the slide catch, and the magazine catch. Just to kind of give it just a little bit more of a uniform look. I couldn't think of it immediately when I was at school, but it just hit me a minute ago. The way that these turned out a little bit darker than the rest of the stainless steel, it sort of reminds me of the look of I think it's the Colt XSE Commander, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's that model. But just the way they've kind of got like the two-tone, like a little bit darker steel parts on there, I kind of like that look. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it this way, and I frog lubed these. This is Colorado, so it's super dry here, and I've polished plain steel before, and it's sat around for years, and I've never had rust issues with anything in Colorado really, and it's just not really something to worry about too much here. So just, you know, keep like frog lube, a little bit of oil from time to time if you do something like this, because I did take the finish off, so you know, but it's not a big deal, nothing to worry about. And then one thing that show you that I did here on the grip safety was there was a little bit of some sharp edges around here, not too bad, but just a little bit, and kind of right up along here. I'm super like weird, kind of picky about how grip safeties fit, so I filed that down on both sides, got it so that it had a nice, just smooth feel to it. You don't feel any roughness. It feels real good through there. It's a little easier this go around since I've been going to gunsmithing school, and during the first 6 to 8 weeks we probably spent 300 hours learning how to file, and I feel like fucking Picasso with that thing now. I mean, honest to God, we filed so much. I mean, I can... The things I'm capable of with the file compared to before is just not even funny. I mean, we were making perfect curves that, you know, big curves that just were perfectly mated up to different, you know, just other round cylinder shapes, like whatever. I mean, these curves were hand filed to the same perfection that you would get out of a CNC machine within no more than about 1/1000th of an inch tolerances for error, and I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Never even thought that was possible until we learned how to do it, but it's kind of fun. And so anyways, yep, I just kind of smoothed that out. And also on this piece here, you can kind of see how there's like a lip that kind of goes up right there. That's how it was around the whole piece before. And that edge right there kind of cut into my hand a little bit. I wasn't super happy with the way that was, but once again, almost every 1911 I've ever picked up, that's something that I just don't like. I don't think that 1911s particularly are the most comfortable guns in your hand. Like that's not what I mean. Like, it's just because a lot of them have like sharpness around here that just doesn't feel good in my hand for some reason. But the 1911, like the overall shape of it, the width of it, just the dimensions, the angle of it, all that, there's nothing to me that even compares. This feels so perfect in my hand. I mean, it's an absolute extension of my arm. It feels perfect. And that's why I like 1911 so much. I'm going to build another one here later in school. I'm thinking I'm going to get probably a Wilson Combat frame and slide, the oversized slide, and then I'll hand fit all the I'll hand fit that and then the parts inside of it. And I'm not saying I can build a gun maybe quite as nice as the people at Wilson Combat can, but it'll be damn close, I promise you, and I will put every last ounce of effort I have into that. And I'll do a video on that. It'll probably be at least 6 or 8 months down the road before I even get to start on that project, but I'm super excited to, and I will absolutely be sure to do a video and kind of take you along that journey when I get there. So flip this over. You can see that the finish on this gun is just absolutely, it's immaculate. It really is. That really impressed me a lot. It's absolutely, it's perfect. It's one of my favorite finishes that there is. And by the way, this is completely unloaded. Checked it. These here are the 2 magazines it comes with. They are 7-round magazines. That right there is a 10-round Wilson Combat, and then got the +1. So, I mean, you can potentially carry, I mean, they've got those high capacity ones, but I don't think they're too reliable. But up to like the reputable magazine makers, you know, you've got up to 10-round magazines for 1911s, and I mean, you can rock 11 rounds in one of these things. So, you know, for a home defense gun or whatever, obviously that's not for concealed carry, or maybe open carry, but concealed is out of the question. That sticks out like probably a solid inch out of the bottom of the mag well and adds a noticeable amount of length to the grip, so you don't want to have that be printing through your shirt and whatnot. But I wanted to show you just a couple things here as far as detail goes that I was really impressed with, especially for the price, is how the edges on the front here, let me see if I can get the camera to, you see how that edge right there is beveled and it catches the light real nice? I mean, these aren't things that you normally get on like more or less expensive 1911s. I mean, I don't even see that on most Colts or, you know, some of the expensive ones like that. You just get the straight chopped off front end that's got a fairly sharp edge, and I only usually see features like this on maybe sometimes like a Kimber. Aesthetically, a Kimber is a really nice gun. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation that they're using cast frames now, and obviously we all know they use MIM parts. I mean, functionally, reliably, all that stuff, they have no advantage over a $300 TSOS 1911. For God's sake, they use a plastic mainspring housing, which is an absolute joke. But I don't want to argue with you guys about Kimber. I do like the company still. They're just fine. I just think they're a bit overrated, and I think they take advantage of their customers a little bit. But anyways, though, you can see on the back there's still, I got the black hammer on there, and it's got the black ejector, and then just those 2 pins. Figured keep just a little bit of the black, but mostly get rid of it. And also, one thing that I did to this that I do to all 1911s that I have, no matter what, is I put a Wilson Combat spring set into it immediately. And then mostly I used, I want this focus, sorry. Mostly I use Wilson Combat magazines too. I mean, these Ruger ones worked good. I'll use them some more, see how reliable they are. I've put about 230 some rounds through this. I brought 200 rounds, but then I had quite a few loaded magazines with some hollow points in them that I wanted to test out. So there's like 200 and maybe 33 or 34 rounds, something like that. Anyways, I would absolutely recommend that you get one of these, and then when you do, get yourself a Wilson Combat spring set with the little bit extra power recoil spring. It just fine-tunes it so much better. The springs in a gun are so unbelievably important. A lot of people look at every other little aspect besides the springs, and then they make all these excuses for why certain guns work or don't work, based on things that they're only seeing with like the fit and the finish. So let me just tell you that the springs are like the life of this gun. All the parts, the timing of everything is based on those springs. Mostly the recoil spring. And also, the mainspring that makes the hammer go forward. Those two springs have to be right. And if they are, and they're good, decent, reliable springs, I know Wolf makes good springs also that I would recommend immediately replacing your stock springs with. I mean, the springs are the life of the gun, basically. And with, like I'm saying, like without good springs, you will not have a reliable gun. And unfortunately, I think the vast majority of all 1911 makers give out shitty springs and mostly shitty magazines. Colt, Kimber, the magazines that they give their customers, they should be absolutely ashamed of. They are the biggest pieces of garbage I have ever seen in my life. Kimber makes a Kim Pro Tac Mag, but they don't give it away with most, or if even any, of their guns. Why do they make a nice magazine, but they give you the shittiest one possible? That's kind of fucked up, you know? I'm sure a customer would even be willing to pay the extra $10 so that their gun works. And maybe the extra $2 to have a good spring in there. And same with Colt. You're paying top dollar for a reputable gun, and they give you the worst magazines. I think theirs are even worse than Kimber's. They're just awful. They're all screechy. They're shit. The followers they're not smooth. There's just nothing good about them. So that's just my take on that. I think it's very important to get, I would suggest getting Wilson Combat magazines. They're what I've had the best luck with, 100% reliability. They work flawless. Out of all my Wilson Combat magazines, I've probably fired about 3,500 rounds, give or take, through them combined, and they've worked perfect with all different types of ammo, everything. So I would absolutely recommend them. They're sort of like the PMag of the 1911 world. To some degree, they've almost set like the de facto standard. You know what I mean? I mean, not completely. There's plenty of other good ones, but this is almost like the standard that is becoming, you know, like the goal to reach, that people are saying we got to make a magazine that is functional like a Wilson Combat. And oftentimes they're designing them similarly. Look at a Les Bayer magazine. He copied a Wilson Combat almost exactly, but he just changed the style of the holes on the side of it so that it looks a little different. But it's the same magazine. And another magazine that I would really like to try that gets absolutely stellar reviews, and some people say it's even better than a Wilson, is the Cobra mag from Trip Research. I would really like to give one of those a try and just see how it works. But we'll see here. If I can afford one soon, I will get one and try it out, and I'll do just like a 5-minute or less video and just kind of tell you guys how it worked out and show it to you. Anyways, I don't have a whole lot more to say about this one, I guess. I'll show you just like one or two more things here as far as features. This does not have checkering on the front, which I've kind of really come to like that, actually. It's when I have both options, when I pick this up, for some reason I just get a little better grip on that. You wouldn't think so because it's smooth, but it's not slippery though. My fingers really take hold to that, and I prefer it even after shooting, you know, all those rounds at the range, like last week, the first time I shot it, and even with a little sweat, it was just fine. These grips, sometimes, yeah, they get just a little bit slippery, but it's really not too bad at all. And they're just too damn, they're just too good looking to take off. I'm not fucking taking those off. I absolutely love these grips. They were worth every penny. As far as grips go, these were not cheap. I mean, I would not normally want to spend that much on something like grips, but these were absolutely worth it. I love them. And just show you guys just a couple little features here, as far as just like the nice machining that I was talking about. You see how even the edges of the front sight there kind of have like those corners cut off, and then right underneath here you see how those that's cut. It's just got nice, it's got nice little details to it. You know, just subtle things. And it's got also pretty decent flared mag well. I mean, the flare's pretty minimal. It's not really something I would brag about. Like, I don't think any of the flared mag wells are quite what they rave them to be. I think if you want that, you need to add an actual magwell extension. You know, one of the, some people call them speed wells, or at least that's what one old guy, Mr. 45 Bullet, something Hollow Point is his name. He's that old guy. He's a real cool guy on YouTube here. I'm forgetting his name. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is. But that guy though, and anyways, I would absolutely recommend you get one of these. I don't want to keep this video going on for too much longer. Just wanted to kind of discuss a few things. Just kind of compare in a few ways to other, you know, options out there. I think for the price and what you're getting, this gun is absolutely fantastic. It's very reliable. It feels great in the hand. It's beautiful. And the price on it is extremely fair. You get a lot of bang for your buck with this. An absolute ton of bang for your buck. They run, I've seen them on average online for in the neighborhood of about $650-ish. And then once you pay for the transfer, and if you live in Colorado now, your damn background check, it'll be in the right around $700, and you don't have to pay local sales tax, which I know some people say support your community, but my community right now is controlled by fucking Democrats. I'd rather they not have sales tax to waste on some bullshit bureaucratic nonsense that they'll try to enforce on my community, so fuck them. I'll support a red state when I buy my guns, and order from the Kentucky Gun Co. or someplace like that. So, sorry, but that's the way it is. Still supporting America and the people that I prefer to support. So, if you live in Colorado, you'll probably, I mean, it depends where you go, but I've seen these average for about $750, $775 on store shelves, whether it be a little private mom and pop shop or someplace like Cabela's or Bass Pro. So you can save yourself a shit ton of money, because you'll pay over $100 less on the sticker price, and then you'll avoid sales tax. And sales tax far exceeds the amount you pay for the transfer, so something to think about. And you can go buy yourself 200 rounds of ammo with the money you save. Or you can go buy yourself about 3 good magazines. So maybe 4 of them, depending. But overall, I think it's definitely worth it to go that route. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. and have a great day. Thank you.